So, okay, you've probably seen Clawbot blow up on X, right? It's everywhere. Every indie hacker and AI dev on my feed seems to have a new Clawbot screenshot, a hot take, or let's be real, it's just pure FOMO. And honestly, I kind of get it. Clawbot lands with that is this real energy. One-liner install, AI that lives on your machine, always on, can talk to it from WhatsApp or Telegram, can run code, access your files, even create its own little online profiles. The hype is loud. Just real quick, I'm Daniel. I've been living in the iOS trenches for over 8 years. Started out freelancing, working with clients, bouncing between all sorts of projects. But after Dub 25, I went all in on solo dev life. Since then, I've crafted over 10 of my own apps, started building everything in public, and honestly, right now, pretty much all my energy goes into making this solo studio into something that lasts, not just another round of quick MVPs or AI slop, the kind of apps that actually scale up. And yeah, I'm sharing every bit of that on Crafters Lab. It isn't just another tutorial site or some AI clone farm. This is my actual home base. It's for solo devs who want to use AI like a real teammate, not like a vending machine. If you're serious about leveling up, building with care, and making apps that actually last, you'll feel right at home. And yeah, if you're still hanging on with Patreon, huge thanks. But heads up, everything's have moved over to crafterslab.dev. That's where it's all happening now, so come be part of the crew. Would love to have you building with us. So here's what Clawbot actually is. It's an always-on self-hosted AI agent. You run it on your own spare Mac Mini, old laptop, a cloud VM, whatever. And suddenly you've got a bot you can message like a person with real system access. It's open source, install is dead simple, and this is the kicker. It can run code, access files, and if you want, even spin up its own online identities, like give it its own Gmail, GitHub, Apple ID, and just let it cook. Now, in theory, that sounds wild. An AI sidekick that never sleeps, takes your commands, can automate daily tasks, even run real workflows while you're off the clock. If you've ever dreamed of having a dev assistant who never gets tired, this feels like the future. But here's where it gets murky for solo devs actually shipping stuff. The fantasy is set up 1,000 Clawbots, automate your entire indie business, and watch the passive income flow. But the reality, most of us aren't running some agent farm, and honestly, giving a bot 24/7 access to your whole digital life? Yeah, there's a reason I don't just hand over my personal Gmail or main repo. The smarter move is what some folks are doing, spinning up a sandboxed Clawbot with its own accounts, maybe even its own isolated dev projects. That's where things get interesting. So where does this fit? If you want a bot to monitor, fetch, report, or even prototype features while you're away, and you're careful with what you connect, Clawbot is honestly a real upgrade. But as a total autopilot, still feels risky for anything mission critical. I'd rather have a co-pilot, not a robot overlord. All right, let's talk real use cases, not just the marketing slide. Where does Clawbot actually save you time or make you better as a solo dev? First, I'm out of the office, but my AI is still working scenario. Imagine dropping a voice note to Clawbot while you're out. Hey, can you draft a release note, generate that daily report, scrape my blog feeds, or even post an update to X? Come back and it's done. That's actually useful. And then there's the build it while you're sleeping fantasy. Like Clawbot could, in theory, scan your GitHub repos, watch for changes, suggest refactors, maybe even ship pull requests. Except, real talk, if you just let it loose, you'll end up with a repo graveyard of bot-generated features nobody asked for. I don't know a single solo dev who wants their agent to own the roadmap. If you're not steering, you're just cleaning up after it. And that's how you end up with the AI made a mess of my code base horror stories. What actually works is getting granular. Give Clawbot access to specific sandboxes, keep your workflows clear, and always review what it does. As a force multiplier for the boring stuff for daily routines, or even as an external brain to draft, scout, or monitor. Legit. As an autonomous coder who pushes to prod while you sleep, nah, you'll regret it. Your flow, your rules. So here's the bigger indie picture. Clawbot is basically a sneak peek at what real agent workflows are going to feel like next year. We're moving from prompt and wait models to these persistent, always on assistants. The tools are catching up to the dream. And for solo devs, that means we finally get to choose how deep we want the agent loop to go. Maybe for you, that's spinning up a single Clawbot with strict rules, dedicated accounts, and some custom skills. Maybe you just use it for automation, notifications, or hands-off monitoring. Maybe you wire it into your personal project dashboard and let it handle chores you'd rather not do yourself. The point is, you own the stack. Yeah, it's not about the hype. It's about finding the little wins that actually fit your solo workflow. And honestly, if you're already running Claude Code, Codex, or Cursor, Clawbot is just the next layer, another teammate, but one you set the rules for. You don't have to go full agent farm to get value. Even one well-tuned bot, scoped to just the tasks you actually hate, can give you back hours every week. That's the win. So, yeah, if you're still here, honestly, you're a legend. The Clawbot circus, all these wild indie workflow tangents. It's a lot, right? But you probably know by now, none of these tools are the magic answer. And if you're watching the Clawbot hype and thinking, should I actually jump in? Look, just remember it's a tool, not a magic bullet. Set it up safe, sandbox what matters, and treat it like the slightly over-enthusiastic intern it is. The real indie edge? It's always in using agents to amplify your strengths, not in letting some bot run wild with your workflow. And, if you want to actually go deeper, check out crafterslab.dev. It's not just some tutorial dump, it's not another AI clone farm, it's honestly my home base. I built it for solo devs who treat AI like a real teammate, not just a button you smash when you're stuck. And, it's packed. You get full walkthroughs, like actual short video tutorials, a ton of Claude Code skills, and yeah, resources means straight up downloadable zips you can drop right into your project. Members get to actually riff in the comments, ask follow-ups, go back and forth, and yeah, that's just the start, because the real core is the Notion team spaces, my live playbook. Members get a front row seat to my command center, every app I'm building, all the .md files I'm actually using on real projects, the prompt library, the docs I'm writing as I go, and all the automations I'm wiring up behind the scenes. There's a full curated Swift and Swift UI library team space too, not just some pile of old auto-generated files, but real, up-to-date stuff. It's packed with the kind of deep dive keynotes and private talks I paid some $100 for, honestly. You won't find any of this in the public training data. This is all the modern, real-world code I use myself to fine-tune models and build out my own custom MCPs for Claude Code, for Cursor, all of it. There's a bunch of different ways to use it, and I'm always experimenting, always posting about it in the lab. And then there's Ops Lab. It's where I build and share all my Notion, AI agent instructions, Notion templates, the Claude Code skills, the workflows, automations, all wired up and ready for you to copy, tweak, totally break, and make your own. The whole point is to keep the indie stack connected so you don't feel like you're building in a silo, even if you're solo at the keyboard. So, yeah, if you want to get in before it gets busy and prices start moving, now's kind of the sweet spot. The crew's still small, super hands-on, and honestly, it feels way more like a behind-the-scenes dev lounge than some giant faceless forum. Would love to see you in there. Swap some stories, maybe even learn something from what you're building next. So, yeah, keep crafting, trust your flow, and let the agents do the heavy lifting, not the dreaming. Peace.